I don't know if you saw that, but that was a hummingbird visiting my west perennial beds. I think it's going to enjoy them as much as I do. Let's take a walk through and look a little more closely at one of my favorite beds in just about peak season. This peony bed is actually one of the reasons I bought the house. It's quite old, and I've had it for over 20 years, and it just performs year after year. But let's take a really close look at one of them. These yellow iris have followed me from house to house, and I'm really glad. And hopefully the next place I live, if I have space for a garden, I'll bring them in. This is a new peony this year, or actually last year. We'll see how that goes. And then Baptisia, iris. Down at the bottom you see some allium that are nearly spent. Some lilies coming up. And echinacea is showing its face. Sedum. This little beauty is known as garlic honey or Mediterranean bells. We have some phlox, more lilies, more baptisia, a little columbine. The columbine's almost done for the year. And this bachelor button, which I don't recommend planting it. It is an interesting flower. It's also, I think, called cornflower. It can be quite invasive, so be careful planting it. And I really like this variegated iris and some sedum. So you see some markings on the ground there. We're getting a new fence installed, so all the utilities had to come in and be marked. Coming up the other side, I got some places to fill in on this bed. I've had some, I believe, vole damage. The honeysuckle's looking good and be in bloom soon, and I should fill the area with a nice scent. So this is penstemon, or beard's tongue. This is what I think the vole really likes. This whole bare spot here used to be completely a big clump of it, and it's just dying out. In the back there's some ironweed, which I like because it won't bloom till late in the season. Some very reliable salvia, more iris, echinacea, and this absolutely stunning peony. Some hostas that are doing well now, but unless I really irrigate, will suffer come August because this bed does get rather hot and dry. A little more salvia, and then 3 nice clumps of rudbeckia. This crime scene here is actually from trying to eradicate creeping bellflower, which is on my top 3 most wanted. I'd show you the front. I mean, we can get in over here, but the light's really harsh right now and it wouldn't do it justice. But here's some iris, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. The color is so intense. They're so delicate, and they only last a short time. So that's the west bed. Let's go through the gate. So here's a little bit of a disaster area. Like the rain barrels here, they're not hooked up yet. They will be this week. And then we've got a new fence coming in. The neighbors are being very patient with me while I keep it propped up, and I had to dig out this bed to expose the bottom. Let's go take a look at the veggie garden. Here in the vegetable garden, I've got 4 beds laid out, sort of like a potager. At least I'd like to think that. This bed is herbs, and then I have some cabbage, okra, zucchini, and then some baby butternut that'll climb that trellis. And then I'll go talk to you real quickly about the other two beds. I got a leafy greens, and then peppers and alliums, and a couple other interesting plants. Let's take a closer look. Here in the leafy green bed, I've got collards, 3 Swiss chard, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 dinosaur kale. That should be plenty of greens to the accountant and I. And you might see some volunteer dill. Tell you what, you plant dill 1 year, you never have to buy it again or plant it again. It'll set seed and rather promiscuously, and you'll be tearing it up and giving it to your friends. On the other hand, it tastes good, so that's not a bad thing. You may notice this little cage here, which is just bent 2x4 wire fencing that I've bent the sides and edges down, and this provides some protection against bunnies and from eating, and squirrels from digging in the bed until the beds get bigger. I will be mulching all the beds shortly, but I will be doing a video on this irrigation system that I put in. You might be able to see it. Sorry about the lighting. Trying to do a June 1st date, and it's a bright sunny day, so the glare's kind of bad. But let's go look over at that out of the bed. So in this bed, I've got peppers, shallots here, some little garlic. I don't know if it'll do anything. When I tore that bed up over there for the fencing guys, there was some little garlic bulbets that had overwintered. So I pulled them up, pulled them apart, put them in a perimeter. If they do something, it's great. I don't know bulbs out of it, or if it's just gonna be something that'll be small and tasty, that's fine. Eat it fresh. I don't need to have it for storage this year. I would like to point out, so these are peppers. I got shishito, Melrose, sweet banana, but over here, let me switch spots. This is artichoke, and then I've got 2 tomatillos, and we're going to see how they do. And here you can see I've built a little cage for the pole beans. They'll grow up through that cage and up the trellis, but I've become tired of the rabbits just getting in and eating all the green beans just as soon as they get started and having to replant. So far so good. This has kept them out, and it's something that won't bother the beans, so I can just leave it in place. So there's the vegetable garden. There's only one part left to look at. Let's go take a look. If this were a movie, the good, the bad, and the ugly, this part would be the ugly. This has traditionally been a bed with phlox and bee balm and columbine. It's a bit torn up right now because, well, that fence is supposed to be done pretty soon here. And then we slide this way. At the end of the path will be my fountain that I normally put in. You see some bleeding hearts that are just about done. Some pots that need to be still potted up and set about the yard. And then framework for the gazebo. Fountain that still needs to be set up. Deck. Ostrich ferns in the back, which are always very nice. And then I do have more hostas and a little bit of phlox, and we can take a little bit of a closer look. So we're up on the deck, or what will be under the gazebo. This will all be shade in not too long a time. There's the last of the bleeding hearts, and they'll fade in the heat and die back to the soil line. Hellebore right next to them, hosta, and we get in the more shady spot where I've got these ostrich ferns that I have to keep under control, kind of not very nicely, just pulling them out because they do spread, but they are really reliable and they look great against this brick wall, particularly once the shade cover is up. More frame, the fountain will go up, and yeah, it's a mess up here, folks, but I don't know, my garden's not perfect, so it'll be looking a lot better, I think, once we get to the next walkthrough. So there you have it. It's our June 1st walkthrough, and this will be the first of a monthly walkthrough series. So be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see how the garden evolves throughout this 25 season. One thing you might notice is this garden is far from perfect. It's not like a lot of other social media where you go and this place is pristine. And I'm not sure everybody always shows you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they just want you to see their very best. And I'm trying to show a more unvarnished look at my garden and my space. So this is what it is. And if you have questions, comments, put them in and I'll get to you. I'll be happy to hear from you. And until next time, have a great day.